Pull up in this bitch.
Hey everybody, welcome. It's Henry. Today we're going to be talking about the lingo or essential vocabulary that you will come across in this lovely game we call Escape from Tarkov. If you're new to the community of Escape from Tarkov, you'll start noticing, just like any other game, we have our own lingo, we have our own slang. We talk a certain talk and we walk a certain walk. Today's video is going to be talking about the most important things so that way you as a beginner know what you're talking about or know what's being said to you. Keep this in mind because this is very important. These vocabulary words, they're dynamic. The language of every video game is dynamic. It's alive, right? It can change. First is player archetypes and player types. The first and most well-renowned is the Chad. If you hear that word, that means that somebody is a very good player or they're very aggressive in their play style. They have a lot of really good gear. They have a lot of experience in the game. If someone is a Chad, that means that they, generally speaking, can and will go for the fight. There's also something called a Giga Chad. A Giga Chad is somebody a little bit above the regular Chad who wants to really go above and beyond to make sure that the entire server for a given raid is wiped and loot everybody and everything, kill every boss, has the best gear, runs the meta weapons. We'll go over what meta means later on. The exact opposite of a Chad or a Giga Chad is a rat or a Giga Rat. A rat is somebody who uses the environment or lighting to their advantage and doesn't use much of their feet. They'll scurry away to a corner in the map and wait for the perfect time to strike. And usually it's somebody who's, unbeknownst to them, not paying attention or just doesn't know about that given spot. Ratting in Tarkov is an art. It is not a dying art. It is a very popular art. A rat wants to embody the high reward, but as low risk as possible, right? Like that's what they want to do. They want to get as much, or if anything, with as little risk to themselves or to the gear that they brought in. The difference between a rat and a Giga Rat, somebody who really just has it's just the experience, right? It's time in game. That's really the difference. Then you have something called the Timmy. The Timmy is someone who is like you, a new player, or an experienced player who decides to bring literally nothing in with them. Doesn't have a necessary play style. They're just kind of just wandering about without a given goal. They might be doing a quest, they might not be. They might be on a quest, but they don't know how to get there. Might be on a quest and they don't know about the Tarkov wiki. Those poor little souls, they're just there to see if they can survive. A Timmy is someone who comes into the game and tries their best, but fails doing so. And generally speaking, a Chad or a Giga Chad will absolutely annihilate a Timmy. And if a Timmy does kill a Chad or a Giga Chad, that means that he just got lucky, or it's the game's fault. The Kappa Grinder. Anywhere in any game, you have your perfectionists, you have your completionists. The completionist aspect of Tarkov, there's other aspects to it, but generally speaking, there's a huge quest line that will give you a huge and very rewarding reward, and that is the Kappa container. It is an extra 3 slots that you can get in a completely new container that you can get in Escape from Tarkov. You get it by completing all of the quests. By going through all this whole entire quest line, you have to really go to the nitty-gritty parts of not only your psyche, but the depths of Tarkov, because it'll take you on an immense journey that in the end is rewarding, but some people lose their mind doing so. So that's the Kappa Grinder mentality. It's someone who just is quest focused. They're driven to the end goal, and that is to get the Kappa. There's another layer to that now because they added the system called prestiging, and prestiging is just another way to kind of have like bragging rights, really. So you get Kappa, you finish the quest line, you finish a couple of other quests, and you can then hit the button to receive some extra, cosmetic items and certain things that your player can do. Hey man, I need you to drop my shit, dude. I just died over there by the tents near 3-story dorms. I need you to drop my shit, dude. Dropping your shit is also known as insurance fraud. In Escape from Tarkov, you can insure your weapons, your gear, your helmet, your anything but consumables. There's kind of like a couple of scenarios here that you can consider to dropping your shit or doing insurance fraud. It is me killing someone and I want their armor, but I don't want to risk my armor anymore, right? I don't want to do that. I've already killed somebody. Or I scurry over to his body, I loot his shit, I take his armor, and I go somewhere and I drop my armor in a bush, knowing that because I insured it, I will receive it later in a couple of days, because that's how insurance works in the game. You just drop it, and if nobody loots it, then you get it back. Dropping your shit also can be you've died and your buddy's still alive. He killed the guy that killed you, so you're clear that, you know, everything's clear. Your stuff is safe per se, but it's still at risk of being looted by other scavs or other players. So what you would really have your buddy do, if he's a real friend, well, it depends on the play style and your group and all that. So you would ask your buddy, hey man, go take my stuff and go drop it in that bush over there, or go throw it in the water, so that it will be out of sight, out of mind of anybody who comes across your dead body. You know, you'll get your stuff back. I digress with that. If you're a scav and you see that somebody has been looted, and you can see that there's been a firefight and there's a bunch of different bodies, you know, read the room, and you could possibly get lucky if you know some certain insurance fraud spots, right? There's some ditch spots. That's also another important word for you to know, like a ditch spot. You can actually go to those spots and kind of recon and see if you can get some extra stuff, like without even getting into fights, really. Leg meta is an extremely important thing to know in Escape from Tarkov, because it is the only part of the body in Tarkov that is unarmored. So if you have certain ammunition that has a high flesh damage, you can capitalize on that fact and get in a position and shoot for just people's legs, completely bypassing their armor, their level 6 Chad kit. You can take anybody down if you get the advantage on them. So if you mix the leg meta with rat tactics, you really can be unstoppable. And then essentially drop your shit somewhere and take what they got. Really, really simple stuff. For you beginners out there, please listen to me carefully. I need you to lean in to this fucking piece of advice right here. Be it as it may, I don't care what group you play in, let this be the default of how you approach communications inside a group. If you hear the words comms, I don't care if you're talking about you just stubbing your big toe or you winning $1 million. If you hear the word comms, shut up, stop mid-sentence, do not speak anymore until you hear something from the person that said comms. And you people who are new also, and veterans, if you say comms, make sure that you acknowledge when comms can be re-engaged. Make sure that you are adhering to these rules, because it is extremely important in Escape from Tarkov to be able to hear what is going on around you and to be able to know that your teammates have your back when it comes to communications. Shoot, move, communicate. You need all three to be successful on the battlefield. So shoot, move, and communicate. If you hear comms, shut the fuck up. Bushwookie. If you hear the term Bushwookie in Escape from Tarkov, it is the exact same thing as a rat. Someone who just sitting in a bush. Be careful though, because now there's a mechanic in Tarkov that will punish you for doing just that. If you're in vegetation for too long, you'll start to be hunted by the boss called Partisan. Partisan is specifically designed to go after people who will have that mechanic. There's really not much information about karma system in Tarkov, but generally speaking, if you stand too long in one place near vegetation specifically, you'll get a sound. It'll be a weird sound unlike anything else around in the Tarkov environment. You'll get that sound, and that'll signify that you get negative karma. This boss will attack you if you have bad enough karma, and he will come after you. Yo, that dude's kitted. So this is a word that is quite often paired with kitted, juicer, juicy boy. That guy's juicy. It doesn't mean that he's homosexually attracted to you. It just means that somebody is either observing someone who has a lot of gear, is a Chad, a Giga Chad running around with level 6 plates and freaking airframe, or an Alton helmet or a wrist tee. All those are, really high in the, spectrum of expensive equipment in Escape from Tarkov. Viewer's discretion is advised for this next part. Yo, dude, I just found a LEDX. I need to shove that up my ass really quick. Hold on one second. Shoving something up one's ass in Tarkov is not what you think it is. In Escape from Tarkov, you have something called a secure container, which is a container that you can put things in that will still stay with you even if you die. Tarkov is a very unforgiving game. With that mechanic comes the ability and the advantage of having a secure container. You can find something in game, and if it fits inside that container, or if it's allowed secure container, you can then not worry about dying, and it'll still come with you. You can then sell it, make money off of it, and you'll come out with a profit. Over the years of Tarkov being Tarkov, people have called that different things. My asshole, my prison wallet. It's a comical way and a quick way to say that you've just got to store something in your secure container. So parents, spouses, friends, roommates. Make sure that you show those people this video so that way they understand that this is a common thing in Tarkov and you're not just being extremely weird online and telling your friends that you're shoving something up your ass. That's not the case. Be it as it may, maybe you have that reputation, but in Tarkov specifically, shoving something up one's ass is a normal thing. Stay safe out there. In Tarkov, as you know, a Chad can have an extremely expensive kit. A budget build is something that you as a player can do quite effectively. If you are aware of some cheap builds, I suggest going on YouTube. There's plenty of material out there to be able to create a very nice budget build for you to be able to create a nice kit for a low amount of rublage or dollars or euros. A class 5 Andy. This is a common one because if it's later on in wipe, you have people who really don't have the skill set to be a Chad. They're more of like the rat lifestyle, but once in a while when they group up with their buddies or they go on the official Tarkov Discord, they want to show off, so they put on class 5 armor, or that's all that they wear, but they just really suck anyway. That's a class 5 Andy. And if you come across one of those, that's okay. Kill them and be on your way. Hey man, before we go outside, I need you to PK really quick. Just in case if somebody blacks an arm or blacks a leg. Blacking an arm, blacking a leg are parts of the health system in Tarkov, and that essentially just means that those limbs are rendered inoperable. It signifies that you just can't use those things. But if you PK or use painkillers, and those are also medications in the game that will help you omit the effects of getting a blacked limb or a blacked body part. Use that term quite often to signify that you're about to PK. Let your friends know that you're about to PK, because this also creates sound cues. If there's a Chad and hears you PK, trust me, he's about to push you. Meta. Meta just means a tried and true methodology to either a very good weapon build, right? To build a very good weapon in Tarkov. The meta is just what's going on, what is hip, what is a fad, what is the most used, the most expensive, the cream of the crop, the tip of the top, the tippy top thing that's going on in Tarkov. So pay attention to the meta. I'm not saying to, straight up fuck meta, but the meta isn't, the all be all. Some people only do meta things, and it's really not, whatever floats your boat, right? I'm not going to go out there and bag on people who just, run the meta. Be aware of the meta, know the meta, and use the meta when you want to. So that's pretty much it for the essential vocabulary that you need to know as a beginner in Tarkov. I bid you fantastic raids. Get ready for 1.0. It's been a wild ride since the beginning of the alpha phase. I've been around Tarkov since the beginning. It's been a really interesting journey to see this level of development, this long of development, this much drama over one game. The ups and downs of people coming in saying this game's dead. Oh shit, this is going to save Tarkov. Just enjoy yourself, right? Tarkov is a very unique game still to this day. Whether you like it or not, whether you want to admit it or not, it doesn't really matter. Tarkov is Tarkov. There's nothing like it yet. There are things that come close, but that's okay. Stay tuned for I want to know what this hardcore wipe's going to be all about. I'm going to make more videos for you beginners. I'm going to make more videos for the language lessons. I'm going to be on stream when I can. Be out there, learn, come to my channel if you want to learn a little bit about language, the culture, and the lore of Tarkov, when it comes to like the Russian language and whatnot. That's what I specialize in, is translating the Russian language into the English language for you to be able to understand and also give information to beginners. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Hit like, subscribe for more content like this, and I'll be seeing you around. Cheers.